Mm. You caught me having a drink of water. Most basic thing you could think of. So, did the Vikings drink a lot of water? Well, we're going to have a talk about it and see what's what. Now then, today when you feel thirsty, you go to the tap, turn it on, maybe open a bottle if you've got that kind of mindset, and you know the water is safe to drink. Not so in the Viking times, I'm afraid. It may look nice and clear, but what could there be in it? Well, all kinds of parasites. You get one called a curus, which comes out of sheep's urine. Imagine it's a nice cool stream on a hot day like today, and you have yourself a drink. And these little worms, they go inside your stomach. They're not after the food, they burrow out through the pipes, and you get them out your ears, out your eyes, out your nose. Not very nice at all. Today, if you want to drink, you've got various things. You can have tea, herbal tea, coffee, various types of that as well, and of course cocoa and hot chocolate, but the Vikings didn't have any of that. You see me here with water. Very dangerous thing to drink. They knew that you could get ill and various other unpleasantries from it. As I said earlier, there's the Acurus worm. Milk also was a bit dangerous. Well, was dangerous. The way they used to get around that is to make cheese. So that doesn't leave us very much, you'd think. Well, it does actually. You boil the water and you make beer. Beer was of varying strengths. Obviously you can't go around with very powerful beer. You'd be drunk all the time and couldn't do anything. So you have small beer, which you drink about a gallon about a day, or your children would drink it, you drink it. It's sufficient alcohol to kill off any bacteria, and you can still go ploughing and what have you. You then have your middling beer, which is a bit stronger. It's probably about as strong as what you've got today. But you've got the main thing, a strong beer, which would be a lot more powerful. And call it beer is perhaps wrong, ale, because there wouldn't be hops in it. Didn't keep that long, but it's what you had at a feast where you would drink substantial quantities of it. And then of course there are two other drinks which don't get much publicity, and that is of course perry and cider. What's perry? Perry is an alcoholic drink made with pears. It's a lighter, the nearest comparison would be like Prosecco or Champagne is today. They used it for high occasions and for special times. Cider, you just make it in the usual way, crush the apples, get the juice out. You then put the juice in barrels and leave it to ferment, which is, quite powerful stuff. Again, alcohol killing off all the germs. But the drink that we most associate with the Vikings is, of course, mead. Mead is made from fermented honey. It is a very special drink. It's where we get the word honeymoon from. It was believed to promote fertility, and the bride was given mead to drink for a whole month, hence honeymoon. So it was used by wealthy people at feasts and things like that. But you imagine, you've got to get the honey. There were strict laws, especially in Ireland, about if you bought land. Say I bought some land from Bragi and there was a beehive on it. For 10 years I would have to give him a third of the honey. The king would get a third and I would keep a third. That's how important it was. And it was the drink of the gods. And even today, let's face it, a nice horn full of mead is jolly nice drink. So there were no restrictions on age limit as to drinking, whether you're 3 or 30 or 40 or whatever. You would drink alcoholic drinks. because it's safer to do that. Ale itself doesn't keep very long, and hops weren't introduced, I think, until about the 14th, 15th century, and met with some resistance. If you were literally dying of thirst, obviously you drink the water, and people would get this Wormicurus that have various other parasites zipping around the body. But the point is, it's not a matter of if you got these, it's a matter of when. And everybody would have them, and it would affect your health, yes, obviously, but you would function daily as per usual. So, you know, drinking the alcohol, you built up quite a tolerance, I would imagine, from it. And as I say, it's a social thing as well. You used to get people like today, you know, who are alcoholics. I'm reminded of a grave that I read about, and the name was Juicehead, and they suggested that it was due to the fact he sucked juice out of vegetables. I think it's more likely he liked to have a few over the top. And we find in graves that there are, especially at Sutton Hoo, although it's Saxon, there's drinking horns there. You find drinking vessels in graves, buckets. Well, the buckets would have apples in it, which keeps you young. One of those things, and I've experienced this myself, if you drink mead out of a horn, it tastes far better than if you drink it out of earthenware, glass, or whatever. It's like people who drink a lot of tea, say, drink tea out of China, and it tastes better, and it does. So that's a little tip there for you. You can get mead today on the internet, and various supermarkets may well have it, and drink shops. And be careful of it. It's more powerful than you think. A friend of mine, he could drink anything. When he drinks mead, his legs go, and it's quite funny to see him walking along after he's had some mead. But like all things, moderation. But in the eyes of the Viking, drunkenness was seen as a blessing from Odin, and if you vomited from it, that's called Odin's dart. So basically, it's encouraging you to drink as much as you can. But I suppose if you're living in the Viking Age, life is pretty dull and pretty unpleasant, so getting drunk occasionally is not such a bad thing. But there are remedies for hangovers in the Viking Age. You can, drink stale ale from a church bell. It was the one that springs to mind. And who knows whether it works or not. I'm not actually going to try that. I don't urge you to do it either. But drink plays a big part in the Viking life. You know, we all need water to function, and the alcohol kills, as I say, all bacteria, or more serious things. And in the sagas we see Thor was a great drinker. When he was in the Giant's Hall drinking from the horn, which he thought was mead, turned out to be the ocean, and it dropped a foot because he drank that much. And great feats of drinking and things like that are prevalent throughout the sagas, Thor of course being your major drinker. But as I say, drink itself is an important part. It's important in all cultures, really. I mean, look at today. There are certain sections of the community that drinking is a part of it. I mean, we talk about rugby players and after the match, things like that. And I suppose it's a hangover, no pun intended, from those days. But the average peasant in a hovel in the Viking times would drink ale, and the lady of the house, the woman, the housewife, she would make it. And certain times they would put a brush hanging outside, which was a sign of ale's brewed, come and help us drink it. And I suppose they're your first pubs. It was a sign, and later on you get the ale wives. In fact, interesting fact for you here, apart from childbirth, one of the major killers in the period was women drowning in dew ponds getting water for ale. You know, they slip in, the clothes will get soaked and drag them under. So next time you have a pint, just think of what's gone into making it, and everything in moderation. So, if you've enjoyed this like you enjoy a good pint, press the old subscription bell right there, and Anglo-Saxon, was it Viking, #Viking drink, and we'll send you all manner of great ideas and things of what we're going to be doing. And also, leave us a comment. We will get back to you. It does take time, there's not many of us, but we do get there in the end, so don't despair. Just pop those questions in and comments, and till we meet again, cheers!